One of the most important things in your life is to find out how short-term focus leads onto long-term focus and habit changes. Each and every day of your life, you've got short-term focuses, you've got short-term habits and things that you look into. One of the most primary things of this is just how you act. Like, you wake up in the morning, and most people, they'll just go on their phones, they'll scroll on social media, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Snapchat, whatever they do, or YouTube. But each moment of your day has short-term focuses, short-term things that impact your daily life. They have things that alter how you behave and alter it into a way, into a new passion, a new habit of life. So, you in your regular day, what is the most important thing in order to ensure that your short-term focuses lead to long-term goals is essentially a matter of self-reflection. You go through each of your habits, and there's really no way to see how productive it is until the habit is over, because each part of your habits has a level of gain that you get from it, a level of productivity towards it. Even social media increases your knowledge, your intellect, how you view things, increases the level of awareness and understanding of the overall world. And that's why it's so addicting. It gives you short-term dopamine releases, short-term experiences, but overall has a low level of experiences. It's just spiking your dopamine at certain points so that you keep chasing this dopamine spike in order to keep going. And in this sense, you've got to understand that everything has gain. So it's not like you're winning or losing. It's just a matter of how you're winning. In this, let's say you personally, you are focusing on something, and let's say you're focusing on work versus focusing on Instagram. They still both have gains, but they have different types of gains. So why do we lead to the one but not the other? It's simply a matter of, because it's one, familiar, because two, we've already know that there's a gain in it, and yeah, there's just minimal effort required to just go into Instagram, to go into those sorts of things and distract ourselves. However, if we want to shift that, we want to turn short-term focus into long-term focus on the things that matter, onto the things that actually improve ourselves. We've got to start doing spikes of the things that actually matter. We've got to start getting addicted to the things that actually matter in our lives. So how do you get addicted to working out? How do you get addicted to improving yourself? How do you get addicted to your hustle? Well, I guess my whole vid channel is a sort of exemplar, an example of that. Improving your long-term focus on the things that matter is really like a matter of just lowering the barriers to entry to the minimal degree and just keep on working on it till you get the addiction, because everything has dopamine, everything has a level of reward to it. It's just a matter of to which degree the reward is. And until you see the reward, until you see the progress that's made in each video, you're not going to do it. So if you lower the barrier to entry, you're now working on it with lowest input. But if you have like a quota or something like that, now you actually can work on that. Now, let's say, okay, best example of this, me start the year, do 33 push-ups every day. Not every day, but before I went to the shower. And I'll shower like basically every day, so it's kind of obvious that I'm going to do it. And so I can go up to 188 push-ups at my max, but usually it's not like that. So at the start of the day, you would notice I'd be like 33, 44, 55, 77, 33, 55. It'll bounce around, but you've got to not be stuck on the results of the singular day and focus more on the overall trend. And so this is what I did. I didn't check the number till at least the month went over, and I kept a note of it, just kept like writing down each day until eventually the month came past, and I was able to see I had an average of 58.58 per day. And I was beginning to become more addicted to it, because by month 2, I had an average of 112. Now, March has gone by, had an average of 202 point something. And this shows that there was a longer term focus, because I did short-term quotas at a minimal degree. And this can be really anything. This works with any field of life. With meditation, you could do 1 minute of meditation per day, which is very easy as a low barrier of entry. However, now this is where the trap comes in. This is where the biggest trap comes in, where you think that, okay, if I just do a bunch of low-term, easy habits, then I'll be able to just do whatever I want to. And so let's say you do, okay, I'm gonna do 1 minute of meditation today. I'm gonna do 10 minutes of studying per day. I'm gonna do 50 push-ups per day. I'm gonna do go to the park every day. I'm going to work every day an hour of overtime. Obviously, you now the focus is divided between 5 things, and now these 5 things have now grouped together into order to be your self-improvement. But the problem with this now is now the moment the day comes where you can't do one, what happens? You're like, okay, now that I don't do the one, I'm not going to do the others, because this whole group is now in your mind, and it's now being seen as difficult. And so now that the barrier to entry is much higher, now you're more likely to quit and stop. So really just focus on one thing. And so this is what I did since the start of the year. Focused entirely on just push-ups, 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 push-ups. And then, after I got the ground for that, I then started to do other stuff. I started to be consistent in my calisthenics at the park. I started to be consistent in my other habits. All because I didn't split my focus. I didn't make a large barrier to entry, but I made the barrier to entry small. And now that I do push-ups every day, at some point I'm like, okay, what if I add something to this? Because now that the barrier to entry to push-ups is essentially nothing, now I can have another small barrier to entry habit, which I decided videos is obviously going to be the best choice for this. And the biggest thing people do is they expect the barrier to entry to be high, and then you just never succeed. But by essentially having these 2 habits in place, now I'm working towards my goals and I'm bettering my future. So yeah, just keep the barrier to entry low and you'll succeed in your goals. But just make sure you do it no matter the day, because you should be able to if the barrier to entry is low. If the barrier to entry is too high to do it every day, you just gotta lower the barrier to entry. And even on the days where you can only do the exact thing that you said, the exact quota you said, but then you still improve, you still hit your consistency. And next day, maybe when you have more energy, you can do more. You can improve yourself.